say Ghana is beautiful, Ghana is really beautiful. For those who don't travel across Ghana, you might not know how beautiful Ghana is. You might think, you know, Ghana is just Accra. I remember when I traveled to the Volta region just about 2 years ago, and the breeze alone, the fresh air, I was like, oh, wow. The roads were beautiful. The villages were just so clean. I was surprised that the villages were so clean. And I think that we ought to visit out of Accra. Accra is not Ghana. There's so many beautiful places in Ghana, and you all have to visit those places. Now, today our spotlight is on Avakpe Mountains. Beautiful mountain. It has a spiritual backing. It also has its tourist, you know, side to it. And today we are going to definitely be having a conversation with regards to the Avakpe Mountain. We have to understand, you know, the spiritual backing, because we've heard that if somebody offends you and the person summons you to the Avakpe Mountains, then you are definitely in trouble. But let me speak with my guest in the studio first before I go all the way to the Volta region to speak to my other guest. And my guest in the studio is Samuel Aqua, and he is actually here to speak on behalf of the Ghana Museums and Monument Board, the authorities there. And I will have Martin Goza, who is an opinion leader at Avakpe, join us later for us to have a conversation. But let me welcome you, Samuel. How are you today?
Good morning to you, and thank you very much for having me.
Speak up a bit for me, else my guests will not hear. My guests will hear you at all.
Good, good.
You're doing well?
I'm doing very well. Yes,
right.
sir.
I'm fine, thank you. Now, when we were, you know, about to have this conversation and we saw you coming in, the first question was, okay, now what has a museum got to do with, you know, tourists? But this is where we want people out there to understand the relation that you have with the Ghana Tourism Board, and we take it from there. So help us understand who the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board is and who the GTA is as well, and how you work together with the tourism sector.
Very good, thank you. Now, Ghana Museums and Monuments Board is the legal custodian of Ghana's material cultural heritage as mandated by law. And the Museums and Monuments Board is an agency under the Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture. You mentioned GTA, or Ghana Tourism Authority. Ghana Tourism Authority is also an agency under the Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture. But we have separate functions as established by law. When we talk about GTA, we are talking about an institution who market the tourism of Ghana, or the tourism potentials of Ghana, to the outside world, being investment and all others. But when it comes to Ghana Museums and Monuments, that's where I work. We preserve, document, and educate the public on Ghana's material cultural heritage. And we do so through exhibitions in our galleries and the preservation of the forts and castles that we have in Ghana. These are the two separate.
Oh, fantastic. So you do the preservation?
Yeah, we do the preservation, documentation, and education.
Okay.
And how do we do that? Through exhibition in museums across the country, and also through the preservation of the fort and castles that we have.
Do we have a lot of museums in Ghana?
We have quite a lot, both public and private. When we talk about the Ghana Museums and Monument Board, we have a museum in the Volta region. We have a museum in the Upper East region. Bolgatanga Regional Museum is there. We have a few others inside the fort and castles, like Cape Coast. We have the Elmina. We have the Asha Fort Slavery Museum. Then, of course, the main National Museum Gallery situated in Adabraka.
I mean, but these are not a lot, looking at the number of Ghanaians that we have, right? Or
yes, but we have a couple of private ones that we offer assistance to.
Now, even as I ask that question, another thing is that how often do Ghanaians patronize in our museums?
The number has been great so far. I think over the past 2 years or so, COVID had a toll on us, which our numbers reduced drastically. But I think this year is been good. The numbers has been good, both locally and then internationally. The numbers have been good. When it comes to the locals, we have church groups, student front who normally come during public holidays, weekends, and most of the commemorative holidays as well. These are the periods that we have a lot of Ghanaians patronizing the museum.
In the museums and the schools as well.
In the schools as well. Once they are in session, every Friday, every Saturday, you see their numbers.
That's good to hear. Now, let's look at the general public and our tourist sites, how you're preserving it. A place like Avakpe Mountains, how will the museum preserve it to the audience?
Very good. So for Avakpe Mountains, as we are seeing today, we, the museums, have one mandate of doing what we call National Heritage Register. When we consider such sites, we make sure that we value their cultural importance to the society, historically and everything. Then we present it to the Ghanaian community as well. But this is not within our purview. We have not registered this site yet, but it is sometimes under the care of the district assemblies and the opinion leaders in the community. What the GTA will do is to effectively market this site to the public, for them to know about the full potential that the place has to us in terms of the development needs that they need, access, infrastructure, and road network. So
GTA will publicize it to the public or to you?
No, to the public.
To the public.
To the public.
So then when do you come in?
So we will come in when it is listed under us. Then we help and preserve the place and educate the public on the historical importance of the place.
How can they get it listed under the museum?
Yes, we will have to go and then do that. That is one of the core mandate that we'll be doing this year, focusing on listing major tourist sites such as these new ones that has been discovered. That is what we'll be doing here. But last year, GTA came out with an act which talks about how this site will be regulated in terms of registering them based on their accessibility and safety measures that have been put up in the place. So for now, GTA is ahead in terms of preserving and sending out this promotional site to Ghanaians and the outside world. The museum, as we speak now, we don't have the mandate. But sometimes if we really want to understand the history of this site, then we have to send our archaeologists to go and undertake excavations there to find out some of the materials that were used back in the days. And then these materials will help us to know the history, the background, the dates, and then the whole history of the community. When they bring this to the museum and we are exhibiting them, then we will link it to the tourists that this is what we have here and it is from this location. Once you go there, there is a receptive facility.
So if GTA doesn't bring it, then it means it will be there and nobody will hear about it at the museum.
No, but even the district assemblies, they have cultural officers. Okay. They have tourism officers who are supposed to help in developing this site before even the marketing can go on. So we have different agencies that work. It doesn't have to do with only the Museums and Monument Board. Okay. No. District assemblies, they have cultural officers. And even within that, they have these stakeholders. Talk about the chiefs, you talk about investors that are coming to bring this place up. Then they strike the deal. So after everything has been put up, then we will also help by adding our voice to it. Like I mentioned, through archaeological excavations in the site, we will be able to educate the public on it and even help in sending tourists there based on the cultural materials that we unravel from there.
Let's talk about a few of the sites that you already have in the museum that you've projected to the outside world. Which ones do you have? Good.
So when it comes to the museum, for example, we talk about Kente, weaving of Kente, where we link it to the Ashanti region, Bonwe. We have it there. We also talk about the smoke from the northern part of Ghana. Then we link tourists to Dabuya in the north. We talk about the Shah Hills because we have a lot of stuff there. We talk about the Lalbanga Mosque, which we have on display there. We have a replica of it. And then we link the tourists to this. If you want to see it in real life, this is where then we give them the location. These are just a few of the other sites that we do. Like the National Gallery is the one-stop for every tourist that comes into the country. The number one place that you need to visit for us to open Ghana to you so that you know where to go from.
Okay, so today our highlight is on Avakpe Mountains. I want us to watch this video, and when we come back, we'll talk more about it. Avakpe Dome.
They are regarded as a family of mountains. Father Mountain, Mother Mountain, Daughter Mountain, and a host of other unnamed rocky hills forming the Avakpe Protective Mountains.
This mountain initially is used as a sacred area, a fetish ground. In the olden days, our great-great-grandfathers used the place as a war ground. So literally, the name Avakpe means war stone. Mounted guard to look for enemies, and they put their children and wives at the top of the mountain. As you can see, the tallest one around us, and they go to attack enemies when they come closer. We have different war stones. One is called Mama, so it's called Mama Avakpe. The husband is called Togbi Avakpe. The only daughter they have is called Vi, meaning first daughter. Then we have other small gods around.
Welcome to the Avakpe Protective Mountains, located at Mafi Avakpe Dome in the Central Tong District of the Volta region. The view from the mountain is a sight to die for. No wonder many musicians choose it as a setting to film music videos. But the Avakpe Mountains carry many stories, and I'll peel layers of this beautiful story to you. After defeating their enemies in the pre-colonial era, the people of Avakpe Dome gathered here to celebrate and also drown their sorrows. This mountain continues to play an important role in the socio-economic lives of the locals here, serving a variety of purposes, ranging from spiritual to agriculture, health, and recreation. This story will be told through Martin Goza, a retired educationist, family head, and one of Avakpe Dome's opinion leaders.
The whole place is a fetish ground, but tradition is dynamic. As time goes on, our youth decided to use the place as an entertainment ground. Around 2006, then the youth during Easter time, as usual, we people in this area, we take interest in celebrating Easter than any other time, though we have our traditional festivals. So around that time, every Easter Monday, you see the youth coming here, the drum, that's traditional drumming, dance, merrymaking goes on here. So it became a usual practice. Since then, other people heard of it in Avakpe surrounding. That's Mafi, traditional area. For that matter, Tongu as a whole, people started coming in. The number increased to cover Volta region. Majority of people from Aflau, Denu, Bando area, they all travel down. It's a 24-hour program. It starts on Monday, early morning, till Tuesday, the following day. And it goes through day and night.
And the highlight for today's conversation is on Avakpe Mountains. You're watching Prime Inside. Actually, you're watching Prime Morning, and the segment is Prime Inside. And today, this conversation is highlighted on our tourist site. Now, I said earlier that when you step out of Accra, you see beauty. Accra is beautiful. But trust me, there's something else when you go out there. We have beautiful places. We have a lot of waterfalls. We have beautiful mountains that you have to try climbing. We have beautiful forts. Try and visit those places. One day, Kakum National Park is there. Just visit those places. You will definitely be happy about it. And today we are talking about the Avakpe Mountain. Now, this is a family mountain. So I got the Mama Avakpe, Togbi Avakpe, and Egbi Avakpe. And that's the daughter. So Mama is the mother, and okay, I hope I got the name right. So the Mama is the woman, the man, that's the father, is the Togbi Avakpe, and then Evui Avakpe is their daughter, and that's the first daughter. So that's our highlight for today's conversation. And I still have Samuel Aqua here. He's a principal with Museums and Monuments Educational Officer, and also I'll have Mr. Goza, who is an opinion leader at Avakpe Dome, joining us on Zoom. But let me ask you, Samuel, what's your take on this beautiful place?
No, this is a very beautiful place. I think over the years, almost every Easter Monday, like the way the Americans have been coming to Ghana every December, Ghanaians like go to Avakpe Mountains on Easter Mondays. A couple of shows there, and I think Easter Great Escape has always been held at Avakpe Mountains. And it's a very beautiful place, but what I want to see more happening there is after Easter, we need to have a sustained lineup of activities.
That should come from Ghana tourists on board, or?
That should even come from the
opinion leaders?
Even the stakeholders who are
in there.
Exactly.
Right.
So that we have the program, then the Ghana Museums and Monument Board and GTA will take it up to help them with whatever they do.
Not bad. Let me go to Mr. Martin Goza, who is an opinion leader at Avakpe Dome. Good morning, Mr. Goza. Kindly unmute yourself for me. Hello, good morning. All right, we'll come back to Mr. Goza to have more conversation with regards to the Avakpe Mountains. I just want to know the history behind it. Yeah. I know we've seen a bit of video, but I really want to know the history behind it. I mean, how did it birth in the first place that we have a mother and a father and a daughter? And who gave them the names? And of course, we heard that if you should offend someone and the person summons you there is actually some sort of spiritual implication there. So we'll definitely have that conversation. I'm excited about Avakpe Mountain. I don't know, but I just want to visit the place already. I just really wish I could visit the place already. So, Samuel, looking at this, you said it's not at the museum yet, right? No. Would you definitely want to have this at the museum?
Oh, we would like to exhibit, very much like to exhibit a lot of things about this and then lead people to the place. It's a nice... What is interesting about it has to do with the rich history that it has. This is what the pull factor. Everybody hearing of this rich history will, let me visit and then know more about it. This is, let's say, what brings a lot of people to a tourist site. If you are going there, what is the value? What will you gain at the end of visiting a site? And such beautiful histories is what promotes and then drives the tourism industry that we have in the country. Now,
as we are talking about this, if you really want to know the whole story about the Avakpe Mountains, we are bringing the full video to you this evening at 5 p.m. and you cannot miss it. You ought to watch the feature, and it's been put together by my very own Jivenu. Actually, it's 5:30, sorry. So Jivenu has put this together, and it's a solid work. Congratulations, Jivenu. Congratulations. This, the video alone, the quality, the drone being flown, I'm seeing everything that I wish I could see from the top. But unfortunately, when I get there, I'll see the details on the ground. So it's beautiful, and I wish you at home will hear the story and it will motivate you to visit the Avakpe Mountains. But what about the Avakpe Mountains strike you a lot, Samuel?
I think it is situated right within the heart of the community, or just the outskirts of the community, if I'm right. Which means that everything that happened within this group of mountains or family of mountains has to do with the lifestyle of the community. Like, there's a synergy between the community and the mountains. You cannot take or separate the two of them. And that is one good thing to sell about this place. Like, where you go and then you have the whole lifestyle of the community embedded in the attraction that you are seeing. There are a couple of sites that when you go, you have just the site far away and you have the community also far away. So you just see the site and then you move away. But with this, it is just
very close to the community.
Very close to the community. So you become part of it, which is a very good location.
Looking at this, it looks like the community is quite small. It looks like, yes, we do have the opinion leaders there who can put some things together. But even as they haven't put the things together for GTA to notice it, now you are seeing it. What can you do to support them?
Exactly. So first of all, you have to talk about the ownership and then the stakeholders involved in this. Of course, looking at this, realize that they have some challenges with even accessibility, road networks and stuff. So the district assembly, being one party, will have to come up with an investor, and then the opinion leaders in the community. These three units form the ownership of the group. And tourism development has said that once the leaders, or let's say the people that owns it, really understand the benefit that they will derive from it, it becomes very sustainable. But if it's just left to the opinion leaders without the involvement of the district assembly and all those things, within a matter of fact, irrespective of the investment that you do there, it will not be sustainable. So you need all the stakeholders involved to understand, for everybody to know their part that they are playing. And then even when it comes to profit margins or profit sharing, each and every stakeholder knows the amount of investment that he has put in there, and then the revenue target that he foresees. When everybody understands, all the stakeholders understand it, it drives forward. But when it becomes just one party, an investor coming to lead tourists, charge them the entrance fee, and then moves away, the community will be like, no. We can't support this.
So the community has to benefit from it.
Exactly.
Okay, so I have to move Mr. Goza to the phone line. So unfortunately, we can't do the Zoom, but we are doing the phone line. Good morning, Mr. Goza.
Good morning, madam.
How are you today?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm fine, thank you. Now, we are loving the Avakpe Mountains already, and there is a beautiful history behind it. Kindly tell us.
Thank you. Viewers, I want to encourage you to visit Mafi traditional area where Avakpe Mountain is located. Historically, Avakpe means war stone. That is the literal meaning, war stone. It's meant for Tongu traditional areas, 13 of them. It's not only for Mafi traditional area. So, during war times, people hide their women and children there. Sometimes they climb to spy enemies coming before they leave their children home and their women. As time goes on, it's a sacred ground. There are a lot of things that happen there. You don't allow people to go closer to the environment in the past because there are a lot of sacrifice services that they render which are not common to everybody. But as time goes on, the youth of Mafi Avakpe decided to expose the environment, and it's all built on belief. What our great-grandfathers worship, and it's meant for protection. Everything in the environment is about protection. We have herbs, medicinal value. We have wood with medicinal value. Anything, the rock itself, it protects the interests of the people and the safety of the people. Then we believe now we have to share this importance of Avakpe Mountain to the public. That brought about Avakpe Mountains, which we usually celebrate Easter Monday of every year. Somebody find out why Easter Monday. Avakpe Dome community is one of the communities in Mafi traditional area. It is noted for its fetish called Avakpe. And it's only Easter time that the majority of the people who stayed outside Avakpe Dome come back home to account to celebrate pour libation for all that they did outside. So every Easter, you see the population more than necessary. The number will increase, but after that, they go back to their workplaces. So we have started this 2006 when the youth begin to celebrate the Easter Monday day, and it goes on, it goes on. We provide entertainment, catering services, accommodation facilities are nearby at the Dome and East environment. We create situation that it becomes a recreational ground for people. They go and relax. Hitherto, you don't go there. And what the belief states about Avakpe is that only the truth shall make you free. So once you heard of Avakpe Mountain, then you have to hear of Trokosi system.
Okay.
When the God punish you, you are supposed to be human beings, depending on the damage you created to somebody who sworn the gods on you. For example, when you steal, when you kill, when you cheat, and somebody should curse you over Avakpe Mountain, then you are in trouble. That is the reason why the people in Mafi, they always call for justice. That's why this Avakpe controls the whole Tongu. When you talk of Tongu, it's communities that are around the lower basin of the Volta River. We have 13 traditional areas there. And since we have started, it's covered over people coming from outside, closest to us, Togo, Nigeria, and others. Then recently people travel from outside and come to visit. There was a time Germans developed their interest visiting us, and COVID has now interfered with our progress. We are now trying to help put it back. So now we call for all hands on deck so that we can promote, project this tourist center, which is the only initiated rural program in Central Tongu. Thank you.
All right. Wow. Beautiful history there. And so one thing that I really want to know is the whole Easter Monday celebration that happens. And you're saying that it's the time where the people come back home, and that's why the celebration takes place. Are you looking at extending it beyond that? Just the Easter Monday, where we can have people come in at any time, the celebrations will continue, and it will not just be Easter focused?
Thank you. That's why now we are not trying to localize again. We are bringing it to the wider level. We want to celebrate all holidays, and we add variety of programs. People come there, perform their weddings, refreshments. You can organize a program for your workplace. So you visit and they entertain with traditional drumming, different kinds, so that you become part of the people. And when you come there, you learn the culture of the people, the way they are friendly, the way they behave, the food they eat. Because during the festivity, you see that you meet different types of food. For example, we have corn flour banku. We call it akle, corn flour, dried one. They use it to prepare banku or akle. Fermented corn also be used for akle. You mix corn flour with kokonte to get akle. Meanwhile, you get kokonte akle. You get a very interesting program that is around oyster. Oyster. Our women were very good in oyster picking. Now we project the use of oyster, which provide a lot of protein to our children. So many people come there to buy oyster, and we also market our very important product. That's gari. They call it Matikumasi gari. Matikumasi gari is eaten without even adding sugar.
Wow.
So now, if you look at Avakpe Mountains, we have made a lot of advert, and we need support to provide accommodations, catering services, like restaurants, and entertaining programs. We want walkway, which you can also experience what is happening in Kakun Forest. We want to have daily programs, weekly programs, monthly programs, and the year one will be the grand finale. So we want everything to be all around.
That's great to hear. It's actually a very beautiful place. But how have you reached out to the government for any form of assistance with regards to what you want to do at Avakpe Mountains?
Thank you. As things go on, from the basic traditional community at Avakpe domain, it reaches the district assembly, which is not far from Adidome. Avakpe domain is a walking distance from Adidome, which is central town district capital. So the traditional people visited the DC, the district chief executive. Those days, they helped when we were extending power to the site. They also made financial contributions to the place. When we were constructing road to the place, they assisted us with grader and with fuel it, and they provided street light, security light for us during the festivity. So gradually, we were closer to the district assembly before the COVID-19 came in. We are now struggling to go back to them, so we continue the relation. So the last one that we celebrated, the population dropped drastically. So we are now cooperating with the district assembly.
Did Avakpe Mountains cash in this beyond return season?
Pardon me?
Did Avakpe Mountains cash in during the beyond the return season? That's this December.
Like you asked, we are now struggling to see how best we should bring in other programs because everybody, the majority of people who initiated the program, as I told you, they know of only Easter. So for the Christmas, I can tell you there was nothing that happened.
Wow. Oh, I'm hoping that 2023 Christmas will be different. But how good are the roads?
As I was telling you that we were using footpath, we were using cutlasses to expand it. Then the district chief executive came in. They gave us grader, and they have now expanded it. But it's all earth, not graveled either. We hope as time goes on, it should be tarred. And there's a place that we have to put a bridge during rainy seasons.
So this is the road.
Affected.
This is the road. I remember when I visited the Volta, I was actually, using a road like this and a snake crossed us. But it's all part of a beautiful sight, isn't it?
Yes.
It's beautiful because you hardly see that in Accra where you are, on the road and then the snake will just cross. We're like, oh, that's a snake, But it's beautiful. Now, let's talk about the names of the mountains. There's Mama Avakpe, Togbi Avakpe, and Ewi Avakpe. Who named these mountains?
Thank you. For human beings to call inanimate object name, then you can see the value they have given to those rocks. And it's like a family. Mother, father, daughter. There are other hidden ones that we didn't mention for a reason. Some are military work. They take care of military work. They detect. So for now, those that we have mentioned, they look physically available for people to see. But there are others that we keep quiet over them. The meaning is like they form a family, and the family represent the people, and the people are named after the community is named after the fetish. So Avakpe, as I told you, literally meaning Ava meaning war. Stone means pe. Avakpe. The protective that we put there in each word means the same thing. So that the people themselves, they believe in the work of the mountains as human beings. Right. They believe that they were brought back to life when they were in trouble. They were protected during wartime and other things when they are sick. Like I was saying, that there are some craters in the mountain which collect water and is used to treat some kind of diseases that worried them in the past, like epilepsy, malaria, and all that.
So do they drink the water, or how do they use it?
The water, where is medicinal, is not about drinking.
Okay.
It's about bathing.
Oh, right.
That is it. Okay. But when people are hunting and they go there and they don't have water, it's a clean water.
So you can drink it?
You can drink it.
Okay. Now, what about, since it's a family mountain, what about those looking for the fruit of the womb or those looking for marriages? Can they go there and make some sacrifices and the spirits will speak on their behalf?
Yes. Everything that belongs to the public has a moderator. Somebody who directs affairs are there. That is a fetish priest.
Okay.
If you have any specific problem, for that matter, you are going there for direct demand, then you have to contact those people in authority.
Right.
You go to the chief will direct you to the fetish priest, and they'll talk to you.
Okay, then the fetish priest will lead you to the place. Now,
if you go there,
okay,
and you are clean in your hand, in your heart, your hand is also clean, meaning you have not caused ill to anybody. You have not caused any problem to anybody. Whatever you ask, whatever you talk about there is taken on. The gods are listening and they are watching you. So actually, we have open-ended talks which the gods don't need anybody to direct. And all these built on belief. Specific ones, you have to visit the shrine, which the office or the house of the fetish priest is not located within the center. It's located in the town. So that you go there. When you are going to war or are going to peacekeeping, it has different things that libation that they will pour for you.
Okay.
What you are supposed to do, they will tell you, because it's a war ground, and they know all that is involved in war situation.
So,
if you are sick, if you don't have a child, your water that you take from there, they will tell you what to do to smear the stomach, and they will tell you what not to do.
right.
If it comes to looking for your missing or stolen items, they will tell you what to do, and the gods will go and look for it for you. But one secret also about this is that when you are on a river and you are getting drowned, you don't mention this God's name.
When you're what? Repeat it again. When
For
you're...
example, you are on the sea or you are on the river and the boat wants to capsize. You don't call the God's name.
Really?
That's right. You don't mention the name there.
Why?
Because since it's a stone, it comes to your aid, it will rather sit on you.
Ah, so you sink.
But when you are on the land, when you are going on sea, you can go and pour libation, swear, pledge, fine, that you come back safely. But assuming you are in trouble on a river, you don't mention his name. It will rather sit on you. So we, the native, know how to make good use of this. And we think it's a high time others also are involved.
So if somebody is not a native and this person still wants the assistance of these gods, can the person visit there and the gods will answer?
Definitely, yes. If you have a problem and you come and pass through the channels, they'll tell you what to do. And one issue also is that people take this for granted. If you take any piece of the rock and you keep it in your house, you should know that the God is living in your house. If you don't know how to welcome it, you don't know how to keep it, because there are some days which are dangerous, then you create problem for yourself.
Wow. So immediately you take a piece from the mountain, the God comes to live in your house because it's in the house.
If you take the piece, your intention is not for beauty of the piece that you pick. And you have an idea, as I'm talking now, and you keep it in your house, because you don't know, they don't understand your language. Whatever you are doing, maybe you don't know the details. So this one is something that you have to consult the fetish priest if you really want the support.
At 5:30 p.m. we'll definitely we'll show this to the world on Joy Prime, and we want the world to know more about Avakpe Mountains. But I have with me Samuel Akwa, who is a principal at Museums and Monuments Education Officer here, and I really wish Avakpe Mountains will get into our museums so that we can tell the world about it, because the history behind it is beautiful. Want to tell the story. And of course, you did mention that you're looking at more investors coming on board to beautify the place, to sell at the place, having hoteliers, having food vendors and everything there. How are the natives also helping to have this come on board?
Thank you. Like we started initially, keeping the place neat is the work of the youth and the community. Selling is for the community. Any form of services that will make the place enjoyable was started by the community members. Then it spread over, because for accommodation, it's not easy. The Adidome included. Then there are another traditional area, Avakpe, included. And people go to sugar company, sleep there, and come back. So as I told you, the God is for Tongu people. Now there's a road from Avakpe to Juapo, and there are other hoteliers on that way. It's easier for people to come to Avakpe anytime they want. Now the transport system is better than before. So the help that people in the community are doing, I think now there's limitation because they are peasant farmers. We need bigger investment. That's why this aspect will include people who are in the business somewhere already.
Right. Mr. Goza, thank you so much for joining us this morning. But of course, I want you to work with Samuel and see how best we can get Avakpe Mountains in our museums, if that's okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Samuel, your take on it finally, and then we can go.
Yes, this is a very nice history, which is, I think, anywhere in Ghana, this is very unique to the people in Adidome. But if you look at the development of tourism sites and in reference to Butler's model of tourism, I think for the past 10 years or so since the discovery of the mountains, it's still at the discovery stage. This is the time to move it to the next stage, which is the development stage, for partners to come on board to really develop, as the chief was talking about. We really need partners to come, because even the district assembly is not fully involved.
We need it in our museums as well, so let's work on that. That will also push more partners on board.
For the museum, we have temporary exhibition spaces.
Okay.
With this documentary that you've done, we can even exhibit it for a week or a month.
Please do.
To introduce the public into the place, to help them out.
So we'll bring the documentary to you, kindly exhibit for us, and let's see how best we can help promote the place. Thank you so much for being here. We are super grateful. We'll be having a conversation with Mr. Samuel Akwa, who is a principal at Museums and Monuments Education Officer, and Mr. Martin Goza, who is an opinion leader at Avakpe Dome. And a highlight has been on the Avakpe Mountains. It's a beautiful place. You have to visit the place. But today at 5:30 p.m. on Joy Prime Television, we will be broadcasting the full video for you. And this was beautifully put together by my colleague Jivenu. You know we love you, Jivenu. That is a very beautiful work. I'll go on, messages coming in. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is my first time here, and I want to tell you guys I love you people so much. Oh, we love you too. Rosenfelli has been my favorite. Oh my goodness, thank you. And that gentleman, he says, Magicals, we serve a good show. Thank you so much. Sedem the boss. Thank you, Sedem. We love you too. Thank you so much. And for you at home, as we have our show, we always get interactive, so you can send in your messages and we'll read it live on air. I know my producer wants to pull a poll. Maybe we'll bring it your way tomorrow. We are looking at the 3 or 4 main people who are competing as flag bearer for the new Patriotic Party. Who stands a chance? Will it be Alan, Dr. Baumia, Kennedy Japong, or Honorable Oseakoto? the ball is in your court. Let's cast our votes and see who stands a chance of becoming the flag bearer of the NPP. On that note, this has been Prime Insight. We have relationship conversation coming your way. Then we'll have the new babies of Links Entertainment also join us and tell us how it's been so far. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.